Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, strong style cinephile, and we are finally caught up with The Flash to this point. And this episode was the People versus Killer Frost. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes. Not going to go blow by blow because I don't need to, because it was a simple thing going on. On the one hand, you had the Speedforce, Nora, and Barry trying to track down Fuerza. They got some seismic readings that took them over here. And then the main plot, because they were part of the B plot, the main plot was dealing with the fact that Killer Frost is facing sentencing. And we know that one of the weaknesses of the CW is dealing with the legal system. So I was kind of nervous going into this episode, knowing that we were going to be dealing with the courts again for this. But the episode kind of did a few good things, I think. Now, in the episode, Killer Frost said she just wanted to just own up to the crimes that she committed as a criminal before she was reforming and kind of show that she can change. And the sentencing they wanted to put upon her was kind of introduced by the agent, and what it was to force the metahuman cure upon metahumans. The idea being that the precedent set by this case will make it so any metahuman just accused of an act as part of the punishment could have their powers forcibly taken away. Now, there were some early fears in this, the idea that Killer Frost is basically a manifestation of powers. Now, if she took this cure, which eliminates powers, would she just die? Would it eliminate Killer Frost as a whole, as this person? So while they were kind of waiting for test results on that, and Frost told them to kind of chill and just let things play out, they took it upon themselves to try to take care of the cure. So in heist fashion, they sneak into the police station, some things happen, and they end up neutralizing the cure. Turns out they have another sample, and they still want to use it. And it was kind of interesting with the possible precedent setting decision that this would make if Frost took the cure, and how the agent wanted to use it. The fact that she got a different sample of the cure was able to salvage the cure even after it was destroyed from Argus. And Argus, as we know from Legends of Tomorrow, in the future kind of becomes this oppressive federal arm that is capturing and experimenting on metahumans. So it kind of harkens back to that and kind of gives us some seeds, some possible foreshadowing of a future that can indeed come to pass, where Argus goes from the agency that it is today to kind of this oppressive federal agency, this oppressive meta-hunting, meta-experimenting federal agency in the future. Now, again, depending upon how many more seasons of The Flash, how long it goes, will they take this tact? Will they take this track? And how will Diggle figure back into it, if he ever does? You know, it's just something interesting, a little kind of Easter egg type of thing that not so much an Easter egg, but just kind of a callback to a possible future that they've already put out there in another Arrowverse show. So showing that sort of connectivity amongst the shows is one of the hallmarks of the Arrowverse. We find out that the reason why this agent has such a mad-on for Frost, she has a mad-on for metahumans in general. She lost some of her troops in a past incident by trusting a metahuman, so now she thinks all bad metahumans need their powers taken away. And in a heartfelt speech, Killer Frost kind of notes that her powers are part of her, and just taking them away because people are afraid of what's different in them is not really, a good thing to do. And it kind of runs there's some parallels there that kind of harken back to kind of mutants and X-Men and kind of what they mean for in the comics, and their struggle, and kind of how it parallels the struggles in society for people that are different, people who belong to LGBT communities, people who are other races, people who just feel a certain type of way because people treat them a certain type of way because they are different. So kind of taking that argument, that sort of parallel on in this episode, could have gone bad for them, but I think they stuck the landing. I mean, people could learn a lot from this episode in those words to how they treat other people in society. But that's a whole soapbox for another day and another channel. In the context of this episode, I think it played out well. And in the end, Frost offered herself up to serve life in prison without the possibility of parole in lieu of taking the cure, which everyone accepted. There's this heartfelt slow motion walk as she gets walked out of the courtroom, and one of the metahumans from the past says, "Every metahuman will know what you did for us," yada, yada, yada. And then Caitlin has to deal with going on without Frost, who is her sister, as she said. One of the big things with an disagreement between her and Frost is because Caitlin wants her to choose, because once they knew it was safe, Caitlin wants her to choose the cure. And Frost doesn't want to, because it's taking away a part of her, it's muting a part of her, it's putting a part of her in a permanent closet, if you will. Frost doesn't want to do that. And kind of points out that Caitlin is only worried about herself, not worried about so much what Frost wants, but worried about how what happens to Frost will affect herself. So she's just being a little bit selfish. But I mean, if she considers her to be a sister, considers her to be family, we all tend to be a little bit selfish when it comes to our family and what happens to them, what could happen to them. We want them around. We want them to do what we feel is best for them to be around as long as they can. You know, so I can understand that. I get on my mom and my brother about their health and that sort of thing, to just kind of do what they can do to be around for me for as long as possible, because I'm the youngest. So I'm going to be on this earth maybe, possibly, a lot longer without them than I am with them. So I want to extend that time with them. So I want them to do whatever it is they want to do. If it infringes upon their life, don't care, because I want them to be around. So I can understand that argument coming from Caitlin to Frost to do what she doesn't necessarily want to do, but to keep her around, you know? So I understand that. So I think it stuck that. That was actually a well done part of this episode, this whole thing with Frost in the courtroom and the whole court proceedings and what happened. I think it was actually pretty well done, which is surprising because, like I said, checkered past when it comes to the legal system. Outside of that, you have Barry and the Speedforce going to check out what could possibly be Fuerza. They find this girl who is a former addict. They take her back to Star Labs, run some tests on her. They find out that, yes, she is indeed Fuerza. She doesn't know it. She's has been having blackouts and things, lost time and stuff like that. And she doesn't know it. She, after being convinced by the Flash, submits to their testing, is proven to be Fuerza. Next thing you know, Speedforce acts out, throws a lightning bolt at her, tries to kill her, then throws a lightning bolt at Iris, tricking the Flash into shooting his lightning at her, which is actually what she wanted, because she takes Barry's lightning bolt, throws it at the girl, Alexa, kills her, and tells Barry to basically pick sides. So now the Speedforce has played its hand, and it's shown to be truly evil. Or at least, I imagine the Speedforce is going to try to rationalize it as a fight for survival against these forces. They discussed early on that some of the forces aren't inherently evil, and Speedforce gets super over aggressive, and again builds up to this, where she actually tricks Barry into taking out Alexa and tells Barry, like I said, pick a side. So it'd be interesting to kind of see where this goes with how many episodes we have left, this battle between Barry and the Speedforce. Are we going to have to dig up the artificial Speedforce? I can tell we're probably going to have to go through the usual thing where Barry has to get faster. He's a Flash, fastest man alive, but he always has to get faster every season. He's going to have to get faster to take on the Speedforce. I can see him taking the chance of activating the artificial Speedforce again. Of course, there'll be some last-second tweaks in the last couple episodes where he won't turn into the dick that he was the first time they used it, and he'll be able to use that to defeat the Speedforce. I think that's how it's going to go down. Remains to be seen, but all in all, like I said, it was actually decent episodes, which is surprising because they went the court route. But I'm wondering if this is going to be the end for Killer Frost, or are they going to, in the battle with the Speedforce, need to get her out of prison to help in the climactic final battle, or that type of thing. Remains to be seen. Is this going to be the thing that maybe takes Cisco out of the episode? Because this metahuman cure that they're trying to force upon people is something he created. He helped them think it up. He took it himself at a point in time. So I'm wondering if maybe some guilt from this, if maybe his work to eradicate the cure itself is going to be what takes him off the show. I think if they actually circled back to that fact and use that in his exit, I think it would make it better for Valdez and it would make it better for Cisco and give him a better storyline to go out on. Give him something fresh to do as opposed to his place now where he's just spinning his wheels. So if they go that route, I think it'll be cool. If not, then it's kind of a waste of potential to do something with him on his way out. Something different and fresh and groundbreaking on his way out. Remains to be seen how it goes, but anyway, those are some of my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me, social media, talk to me there, talk to me here. Until next time, let us geek.